in the morning, along with coffee, toast, and cake. If you're like the old Stone Roadie, you like to wake and bake. Now let's join Craig, Reed, and Griff Martin as you head out on the road. So sit right back and buckle right in. It's a Wake and Bake Morning Show.
The Stone Roadie Show, podcast 324. Roll 'em if you got 'em. Alrighty then, fellow Stone Roadie Dimension. Looky here. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stone Roadie. This is my co-host, co-pilot, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. And it's Monday. It's Monday, and it's August. What is today? August 25th today, ain't it? Yeah. It sure is. That's what it is today. And why don't you tell us more about today there, Griff?
Well, I'm full on redneck today. I got on my Drain the Swamp shirt that matches my Cracker Barrel, old school Cracker Barrel hat. I wore that for Jesus for Survivors because he sent me a little message today. Said he's going to send us some Cracker Barrel gift cards. I don't know if he was joking or what, but used to be my one of my go-to places for a home cooked meal, but now they're all woke and everything, like all these other Budweiser and all this other crap. Hopefully one of these days that's going to finally go away. But what you got there who's that in the background there, Craig, in that picture? That girl turned around looking back the other way.
That's Mary Beth Medley in Dean's drawing with Robert Delgato, with Delgato's Hot Pizza. And then I'm in there with, behind Artimus, behind the drums, and Ronnie's got his feet wrapped, got guitar cords wrapped around his feet, and Mary Beth is over on the side with Robert Delgado with the Hot Delgado's Pizza, holding the money, and then David St. John's is over there leaning up against the thing because he had a little cocaine problem and didn't put it on there. Toot toot, but that's Mary Beth Medley. She was in 1974, 75. Peter Rudge made it so she was the like more or less the manager of the band in Europe, and she had only worked with like the Rolling Stones and the Who and stuff, but she was dating Cameron Crowe at the time that all that was going on with when Cameron was on the road with us over in Japan and stuff. I got pictures of Cameron in the background. Yeah, they were dating. She was a really very, very professional woman, in the music business. But yeah, that's who that is.
Was she English?
No,
she was American lady. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And didn't you, I don't know if you can talk about it, but you were saying she was having a little fling with somebody on the sly.
Yeah, there's a rumor she was having a little thing with Kenny Peden on this side, and I heard there was a little saying going around, and people laugh at it, and they were going, "Crow gonna know. Crow gonna find out about that shit."
And Gary said, "Shut up, Craig, shut up." Yeah, we had Kenny Peden on, he told a really detailed story about the plane crash. And he also dated Sally Arnold, too. A little bit there, I guess maybe before Dean. Oh, Kenny, man, he was a sly little devil. God rest his soul. And we did that interview with him, and a year later he passed away. He seemed pretty healthy at the time. What was he, A
He
lighting
was a
guy?
no, he was a monitor guy.
Monitor guy. That's right. Yeah, because I asked him what was it like being Ronnie's monitor guy? Because to me that would be a tough one to be Ronnie's modern monitor guy.
Hmm.
Because he's always kicking them, and if it ain't
And
right,
and Paul Welsh, his specific job was to turn Ronnie's whistle up. When Ronnie
yeah.
whistled, that was Paul Welsh's job to make sure that whistle was real
But
high.
he turned everybody else down so they didn't have to hear it. Because Alan, when he turned it down in Alan's monitor, Alan was thank you because it was shrill. It was like a shrill whistle. Yeah, I remember Gene saying, "Man, that Ronnie's whistle would just blow your eardrums out." And he taught Artemis Pyle how to whistle. I heard the story. Artemis Pyle said, "Yeah, Ronnie taught me how to whistle, showed me how to hold the fingers." And he goes, "I kept trying and trying, and finally one day it happened." And he said, "Once you learn it, you never forget it."
Ronnie
So,
could do it without holding his fingers up there.
yeah, that's what Artemis can now too. I think you got to work into that. You can't jump into that right away. Um, but yeah, that's a cool picture, cool story. And that's at some kind of a stadium, is it? You can see Ronnie and right behind
Yeah,
next
but
to
I
Billy.
I used to know where it was, but I can't remember anymore exactly where that was. It was
Well,
a big it was a big show.
wasn't like you'd been to 1,000 places.
It was a big
So
show. Seems like it was in California somewhere, but I can't be. Might have been a JFK or something. I don't
whenever
know.
you guys, I mean, that's not
Could
normal
have been
now.
JFK.
Nowadays, they don't hold onto their guitar and go up on stage from a long walk. I mean, now they've got them right there on stage ready to go. And what are
Yeah.
they doing carrying their guitars around for?
That's back when they had a tune. Everybody had a tuning room back behind a dressing room and a tuning room. They still have somewhat of a thing, but they actually
They
used to
tune
be
them
called.
themselves or something?
It was just called a tuning room. A lot of bands get together back there when they tune it. They're playing with just warming up and stuff, and go to
Oh,
the tuning
gotcha.
room and just make sure their guitar's in tune, and then they'll do a little jam and they call it the tuning room.
Because I've seen other pictures where they're like riding on a golf cart, on the back of a golf cart. So that was
Yeah,
something that,
nowadays if it's a big show like that, they just keep everything on stage
yeah, that's,
rather than try to move it back and forth that kind of far. They just tune everything on stage. The performers just go up there and tune up if they want to.
and what was that lady's name again?
Mary Beth Medley.
Mary Beth Medley. We ought to try to get a hold of her. I bet she's got some great men. She's still around, right?
Haven't heard about her for a long time.
I'm gonna have to
Long time.
write that down and check into that. That would be awesome to get her on too. Um, so yeah. And I was listening to the Saturday night special, and Dave the Disciple's got his package on the way, huh, Craig?
Oh yeah. Yeah, finally, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. And so you're working on the other ones, getting ready to ship out to
Yeah,
the
that's
win.
what I said.
You
I
said
think that
wheelchair Chuck is getting going first, right?
yeah, he was I think he was the first one to win, so I'll send his out first. I've been sending other people's stuff out that I did stuff on the side. I've been had to send stuff out.
So wheelchair Chuck will be the first actual winner to get his then, huh?
Yeah, Angela, I sent her since she sent me $200 to pay for the shipping to send everything out. I sent hers out to her. She got that. And then you sent her some them stickers you had. You sent them her
Yeah.
stickers. So
Speaking of
she's
those stickers, man,
she's
that's kind of
loaded up.
those stickers. I gave away like six of them about three podcasts ago, and I said, hey, I read your comment, and if it was a cool comment, I was being in a generous mood, and I said, send me an email and tell me what your address is, and six of them, And I get 20 people that says, "Hey Griff, I need my stickers. Here's my address." I'm like, "Son of a bitch, man!" And I didn't know who was who, so I just said to hell with it. So I sent out like 20 stickers, and I'm still getting
From
people.
what I remember, you were reading people's comments and you were going, "That's a nice comment. I'm gonna send you a sticker. Send me
Yeah,
your address."
and
I don't
then
remember you giving away a bunch. I thought it was about six, maybe.
that's what I'm saying. And about 20 people said they were waiting on their stickers. Here's my address. And then there's people that they're missing in the mail. Some, which I'm not saying that they said they did that they weren't in there, because where I live, if I put it in the mailbox, these freaking kids go in my mailbox and steal shit. So if I that particular one, I said, well, I'll give it a shot, and I put it in my mailbox. So the next one I put in the post office mailbox. That's more secure, unless the postman is a Lynyrd Skynyrd fan, because that was signed by Gene and Craig. But yeah, you dishonest son of a bitches, you know. But you got your stickers, most of you. But do not email me. The thing's over now. It's over. You're hearing it now. No more stickers. If you didn't email me by now, you're not getting any. And then we're going to do it different the next time. But I don't mind sending some stickers out every now and then. You said Tony stopped by today and gave you a few gifts there, huh, Craig?
Oh God, he gave me 20 different things.
Tony's that guy who he came over. It was about 4 or 5 podcasts ago, and Craig said, "All right, Tony, we're getting ready to do the podcast. Sit over there and be quiet." He just could not be quiet. He is jumping in and talking and stuff, and but he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he
So
gave me this hat. And this hat.
yeah,
And
you said he left the country because he didn't like uh, Mr.
oh yeah, he
B.
went down to Aruba and stayed down there for a year after they stole the election.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he got went to some county fair around here and found one of these. I usually have this one. The things to hold drinks in, the thermos, things like that. Usually I use this one, but he got me one just like it. Yeah, it's something at the county fair. It's a Lynyrd Skynyrd thing one.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty neat. Yeah, a little different. Yeah.
Well, Craig loves to get his gifts.
Yeah, yeah, I
He
love it.
appreciates them
Oh
too.
no, what look at all this. Looky here. Where is it? Oh. Got this bag of weed here from Michigan.
How did
It's
that
like,
come? In the mail?
no, he brought it to me.
Oh,
And,
already ground up, ready to go, huh?
yeah, it's real strong.
Yeah, you son of a bitch, Craig. All these people giving you gifts and you can't send out the gifts you owe to people.
Where-
You're going to get somebody pissed off like that one guy that got pissed off because you didn't send his gift and he got all hacked off. And I think he's back. I forget who that was. Which kind of reminds me of, you remember the guy who was kind of cutting down Second Helping, Rick Walker? And then I said, "Hey, man, you're a jackass." And he said, "Man, I apologize for that." Well, guess what he did? He turns out to be a really cool guy. Looky here, Craig. He sent Gene Odum a check for $250.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awful nice of you there, Rick Walker. I called Gene and he was on his way to the monument. And I said, "Hey, man, there's a guy on the podcast sent you a check for $250." "Oh, man, that's Gene, you know how he talks. "Oh, man, that's great. I was going to have to pull over at the rest area and sleep at the rest area. Now I get a hotel." So, so thanks, Rick. I'm gonna run over this week sometime and take this check to Gene, and I'm gonna do a little video handing him the check, and because he really appreciates. I think Gene's going to give you a call too. Rick has got your phone number on there, so don't be surprised if he gives you a call. And you don't live that far from him either. In Tavares, which is kind of over there near Leesburg, I believe, which is not far from me. And yeah, you ought to hook up with Gene and go have some lunch or something. But yeah, really appreciate people that help out the plane crash survivors. And Gene, he's always traveling somewhere, trying to sell shirts and books, and his car is always broken, and he needs gas money or a hotel. And matter of fact, I think he's probably on his way today. I'm gonna have to call and find out how he did. Did he sell any shirts? He always does really good at the monument. Imagine you go to the monument and you pull up and you go walking around up there, and there's an old guy sitting over there, and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" And you kind of find out he was in the Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash, and you just all these free stories he'll tell you because he'll sit there and talk to anybody. So, sometimes when you go to the monument, you might run into him. Which Gene is a very personable guy, and a lot of times also Dwayne Easley will be up there, which is one of the guys who pulled the guys out of the plane crash. So you never know what you're going to run into when you go to the monument, and it's a really cool place. Craig, you've been there. It's it's like a little park.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's cool. I got
Yeah.
a better appreciation for it when I actually went in the sign on the 55 there. It's the Lynyrd Skynyrd monument. This exit and stuff. It's monument this way. It's about 8 miles off the freeway or the 55. That's 55, ain't it? I believe that's
I don't know, but it's a main road, and
highway. Yeah,
you can see
but
that sign, and yeah, it's
you
not
get off,
far.
then you got to turn. Whichever way you're coming from, and it's about 8 miles down back to where the monument is.
Gene said a lot of people they come in a cruise ship there in New Orleans, and then they make that one of their stops.
Really?
Yeah, he said there's a lot of people there from uh, a cruise that I guess it's when it's there they go to New Orleans because it's not that far. I mean, you guys would have had a gallon more gas, you might have made it. Oh, Brian Gibbons, man, I saw that on Facebook where your son playing the guitar. He's pretty good, man. He's got that rockabilly thing going on, and you say he plays different instruments. Just want to let you know I heard that, and he's only 15 years old. Pretty cool. Tell him to play a song, an original or something, so we'll get monetized, and we'll play it for the folks here to listen to on the podcast. We had Brian Gibbons on. He's a guy who lost all that weight. Craig fat shamed him to lose how many pounds did he lose?
He lost like 150 pounds.
Yeah. He said it
Yeah,
feels
he's a
great.
whole
We had him on the
different person.
podcast, told how he did it. So,
Hey, I found what I was looking for. My other couple of gifts I got.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I got super sour puckerberry indica gummies, 200 milligram.
Oh, God, man. I had some gummies here at the house, and I had a little vape pen, and I've been like having trouble sleeping, and so I was kind of like hitting on that stuff, and I had like one of your remember when you overdosed on the brownies?
Yeah.
Man, I was like, God, I was sick. Felt like it's like I can relate the edible overdose to being seasick. It's exactly the same if you've never been air sick or seasick.
I
Those
didn't get
edibles,
sick, but my legs wouldn't work.
you didn't get sick? Yeah, you don't throw
No, I
up, do
didn't
you?
get sick. Uh-uh.
When's the last time you threw up, Craig? When did you break
Oh,
your vomit streak?
when I quit drinking seriously.
Yeah, that's been how many years?
Yeah.
How many years has it been?
Oh, a long time.
See, some people, I've talked to some people say, hey, man, when's the last time you threw up? Man, I don't think I've thrown up in 25 years. I never heard anybody that, I throw up at least once a year from something. I must just have a
I don't
weak
think I've
stomach.
thrown up from being drinking too much in 15 years, probably.
But haven't you had like a stomach virus? I'm not talking self-induced. I'm talking just throw up, period.
No, I haven't. I didn't get it. I don't get sick. I don't.
Hmm.
I didn't get COVID or none of that stuff.
Well, you don't hardly ever leave the house, though.
I don't get sick very often.
Yeah, you got some good genes, man. Or either that stuff can't live in your
My jeans
bloodstream.
are blue.
Somebody, yeah, somebody. Well, you can't. Nothing can live in your THC stream. That's what it is. The gene
Yeah.
says. Like that mosquito that bit you that time and flew into the door and died. Gene, he said that's a true story. That mosquito bit Craig and flew around and ran into the door and died.
But I also got some Choice Chews THC gummies, cherry berry indica. They're the same, 200 milligram.
Man, I'm getting
Yeah,
nauseated looking at that crap.
I'll be sleeping good tonight. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine, his ex-wife was over at his house. They, because they got a grandkid together, and she ate a brownie, and then just nothing happened because that stuff takes time to kick in, and then she ate another one.
Oh
So she
yeah,
was
it takes a couple hours.
they had to put her in the bathtub, and she was crapping on herself, and yeah, man, I tell you what, any of you guys have a story about overdosing on some edibles? Put it in the comments. I'll tell it, man. That's crazy. Um,
I ate a couple. I tried to time it so that it would kick in about halfway through this podcast.
so if Craig falls
I'm
to
feeling
sleep,
okay. I
yeah.
forgot I was holding that package in my lap,
Huh, huh. Yeah, and that time Craig he came over to my house in Florida. I lived in Cocoa Beach, and I'd had this. They call it a rope. It's like it's an edible, like a gummy, and it's a rope. And I went back and got it, and I was showing it to Craig. I said, Craig, man, I've been waiting for when I retire because I was still working at the time. I said, when I retire, because they drug test you. Like a guy in my crew, if he wrecked the forklift, everybody gets drug tested. So I couldn't do any of that crap. So I held that rope in my hand, and Greg grabbed it like a damn raccoon or something right out of my hand and threw it in his mouth. The whole thing. It was like 4 doses. My buddy said, "Hey man, be careful with that thing." And you'd already taken like 2 gummies before you did that, and then he goes up on stage, man, and you were fine. You were totally fine. And then you left all those triple X gummies with the crossbone and skull on them at the house, and I broke a corner off of that, and that was the first time I had that edible overdose, and I'm never going to do that again, man.
That was
Learned my
that
lesson.
was some that somebody made.
Oh God, that was nasty, man. That had something else in it, some animal tranquilizer or something, man. And Chad goes, "You think that's bad?" He took 2 of those and drove in a storm all the way down to my house. And I opened the garage up, it was pouring down rain, and he comes flying in the garage. And, and Tanner gets out and says, "Man, that was wild." And then Chad goes, "My heart's about to come out of my chest. We were about to die the whole way down." Remember that, Craig? Oh God. Yeah. I'll tell you what, man. Craig's a professional drug addict. Do not try to imitate what Craig does. I'm telling you right now. He has no limit. There's no limit with, you can. Only thing happens is his legs go numb. Oh,
It's
but
like
anyway,
it's like riding a motorcycle. You can't fake it.
yeah. I want to do a shout out to Brian Bodkin. When I went up to Muscle Shoals and I did that whole on the road with Griff Martin and Muscle Shoals, I can't remember which one it was, but Brian Bodkin, he became a real good buddy of mine. And, Anna Ethington, she's that lady who, Craig, her, she was interviewing you guys at the Polk Theater when you all were up on stage. She's kind of like a hippie chick. And
I remember, yeah, I
yeah,
remember.
remember Anna? And she does handles the supportsurvivors.net website that she runs it for me. And she's got like heart problems, pretty bad heart problems. And her and Ed King were kind of like pen pal buddies and talk on the phone and stuff because, Ed King had a heart transplant. And I think she's like always teetering on the edge of having to go on the list. Well, Brian Bodkin found out that, he's kind of like Anna and Ed, he found out that matter of fact, they told him, man, we're going to have to put you in hospice. And they actually figured out a way to get his heart regulated, and they put like a pacemaker or something in there. And so he's still going, but prayers out to Brian. I hooked him up with Anna, and I think they're talking now. It's nice to have somebody that you can talk to that's kind of going through the same kind of stuff. So Brian, man, we're thinking about you. I called you the other day, then he called me back, and I was busy, but we'll have to get together. And Brian's got some video of the Freebird Cafe back when they were open. I've been trying to get him to mail it to me, but he's going through some stuff, so I didn't want to bug him. But if we get that, that'll be something pretty cool to look at. So yeah, a lot of people had some great comments about Dyer Davis. Not one negative comment in there about the guy. He was a cool guy, wasn't he, Craig?
Yeah, it was just amazing that he hadn't done drugs for. He was a drug addict. He got clean when he was 17.
Yeah, he hadn't fall off the wagon yet, and that's the reason. One of the reasons I told Craig, he goes, "Well, who is this guy?" I said, "Well, man, he's a great musician, but I think you're going to like him because you guys have a lot in common, And Craig's like, "Whatever, And then when he started, we were talking about how Craig was peeing on everybody on the bus, and then he said, "Yeah, man, I had a thing I went through where I was peeing on everything too when I was drunk. Peed in the drawer. Thought I was in the bathroom and I peed in the drawer and peed on one of my buddies out in the living room." Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy. And yeah, so he was a great guy to have on.
We had a lady that works with us. I won't mention any names, but she said, "Craig, I opened my door in the hallway at the hotel, and you were peeing in the planter."
I bet all you guys were doing crazy stuff like that, man, especially Leon. I've heard so many stories about Leon. My favorite Leon story is, and I forget who it was that told it, was they were looking for Leon, and they have somebody that watched Leon. You were assigned to Leon, so you didn't go away. Like
Me.
was it you? Yeah, they said, "Where's Leon?" And then somebody said, "Man, I saw him walking."
They put him in the room next to me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They said, "I saw Leon go down that road that way," and they went looking for him, and they found him at some guy's house that was at the bar, and he was watching football, drinking and shit. He was just,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. Somebody
You
said,
know.
"Hey, man, you're the bass player for Lynyrd Skynyrd. Hey, why don't you come on over to the house and watch some football?" Okay.
I wandered off a time or two myself, so I can't comment on that.
How cool would that be? You meet some guy, rock and roll star at the bar, and you say, "Hey, you want to come over to the house, drink some beer?" Sure, man. Yeah, that's a pretty funny story.
Yeah, it
But
happens.
so anything else going on, Craig? Any jibber jabber you want to talk about? You got any donations that you probably
You
already
know
mentioned?
that I did, hold on here.
I know you mentioned something on the Saturday night special with Kathy, um, but maybe you can just
Oh yeah.
show it again or something.
It's over here on the floor. Oh.
Yeah, so that was a great Saturday night special. If you guys haven't seen it, go back and look at it. She had a lot of great questions, and Kathy did a great job. I didn't get to listen to all of it yet. I need to go back and listen to the end of it. I was driving somewhere, um, and that's what I like to do is listen to the podcast. I don't watch it, I just listen to it if I'm driving somewhere because usually if I'm home, I got other things to do.
Well.
Did you lose it?
Oh, here it is. I think that last thing I ate was kicking in.
Your legs weren't working.
I was looking for this and it was right beside me. I put it beside me so I wouldn't forget where it was.
Here's your microphone up, Craig, so we can hear
Oh.
you.
I just put this, here, let me put my ears in. Oh, boy. Yeah, I was looking for this.
Oh, yeah. Lynn Cumby. Yeah, she's always.
Yeah, she's sending another $40 for to split between everybody, and I was looking for this card that was right here beside me that I showed here yesterday, but I'll show it again because it says kindness is cool on the outside, and then on the inside there's $40 in cash here.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
That's good. They don't have
Yeah.
a mailbox thief at your place.
Kindness is cool, and what's this?
And who's
So are
that?
you.
Oh, okay.
Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Lynn.
How about that?
What are we building up a little nest egg for? Usually, you send them out
Yeah,
on.
we're gonna have to send that out here. Usually, save it up to give them a little extra money for the monument festivity.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
they want to
Are
go.
you going there? You going to the monument
Or
in October?
I gotta send it out before the end of the year. So,
Are you
so
going to
yeah,
be at
just
the?
kind of letting it build up. It's not nice to get a big lump instead of just getting a little bit here and a little bit there. It's nice to get it as much as you're gonna get.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you going to the monument this year?
yeah, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
there too.
I
If
plan on it. Yeah.
something don't happen and I don't get ran over again by a car. Um, yeah. So anybody who's never been to the monument, you guys want to hook up with me and Craig, and you know, come on down October 20th. Well, it's that whole weekend. Lone Star Skinner's going to be playing there. They're kind of like the house band for the monument, and it's always a great time, man. Just like a big it's like a big Skinner party, man. There's a lot going on, and usually you get a lot of plane crash survivors there, and yeah, it's always a blast. So yeah, that's great, Craig. You have to let me know on the sly how much we got saved up. It'll be a surprise when we. Craig always gives a check out there at the monument, and it's pretty
Yeah, I
fun.
have to look at these little sheet master I have and add it all up and see who gets
Yeah.
what and divide it all up and everybody gets a little different, So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But
Well, that's
hey,
all you.
anyways, yeah, Kathy Geisey was talking about her jacket that she got
Oh
from
yeah.
Javier Medina, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody tried to talk her out of it somewhere, didn't they?
I don't know.
Or they were asking her where she got it or something like that.
Yeah, just commented about. Oh, she was wearing it, and somebody said, "Where'd you get that?" This is a Rossington Collins vest, but it's a small.
But that's up for sale, isn't it?
Yeah, it's up for auction.
Up for auction. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a comfort denim. These are really nice, man. They're really, really comfortable. It's a
Yeah. It's probably something a smaller guy or a chick can wear.
yeah,
That,
comfort
and
denim.
you guys get compliments everywhere you go with those jackets.
It's a nice one. It's a vest. It's cool. It's just a small but it's a nice design on the back. It's Rossington Collins. And then this one is Lynyrd Skynyrd. These things are really soft, man.
Isn't that a
This is a
medium?
nice one. This is a medium here.
Yeah, that's great, man. Man,
Yeah,
somebody,
so
you guys need to bid on that. That's a pretty
this is
cool thing to
also a
have.
comfort denim. But there, yeah, nice artwork on them.
Yeah, we put that up for bid before and then we kind of forgot about it. So here
Well,
you
yeah,
go
I
again.
just there's both of them are too small for me, so
Cool. You guys
so yeah,
send
Javier
to
makes those. That's pretty cool. I mean, he's way out of his way to help the forgotten survivors.
yeah, send your bid to the stone roadie at gmail.com and we'll they're not that expensive. I think you sold yours for $100 at the to somebody somewhere.
He sent one, and I had it in my car, and it was in the summer, but it got chilly, and so I put it on. I went somewhere and went in, and some woman bought. I didn't have it on 15 minutes, so some woman bought it off of me for $100.
That's
She goes, "I
hilarious,
like
man.
your jacket." She goes, and I kind of told her about it, and she said, "Well, I'll offer you $100 for it." I goes, "I sold," because that saved shipping and all that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And she was probably happy.
Yeah.
And then Kathy said she gets a lot of compliments on hers too. So it's a cool
Yeah.
jacket.
Very nice.
Yeah, Javier, man, come up with a stone roadie one. I would like to see that. I'd like to see a stone roadie jacket if you can swing it. But all right, well, if that's all you got, Craig, we can jump into our comments. We got a lot of comments about Dyer Davis and other things. We here on the Stone Roadie podcast, we like to include the subscribers and the listeners in and go over our comments and questions that usually Kathy Gozzi, they'll run a thing on Facebook that anybody have any questions for Craig, and then they ask Craig questions, and I just kind of go over the comments, bad or good, and that's how we got this check from Rick Walker because he was saying, yeah, second helping sucked, and then he went back and he and he listened and he goes, man, I'm sorry, yeah, they didn't really suck, they're better than I thought they were, and now we got a great friend on the podcast that sometimes, when you meet people, you got to get in an argument with them first before you can become their friend. You kind of like, like dogs sniffing each other's assholes. But yeah, we jump into these comments. Let me see here. Kenneth Radford. This is the coolest podcast ever. Well, we appreciate that, Kenneth. But there was a reply in there. Wingnut. And we've heard Wingnut comment before, and he kind of talks about you here, Craig, and I found it a little interesting. He says, talking about Craig, somehow his head injury or brain damage somehow has made him want major attention. He says, chair up, chair down. He'll move it all around. Grab two dogs by the collar and make them growl. Smack a pipe on the ashtray. It doesn't matter. It only happens when a guest is conversing, trying to tell a story. I like hearing stories, Craig. And he says, I guess that's why I don't have the dump truck driver podcast, because I watched a Stone Roadie show while I'm hauling 30 tons of gravel
Wicker, come here,
down the
Wicker.
road. There he goes again. And he says, he has to put a magnet so he can stick the phone on the dash so he can keep it level while he's watching. Well, that's pretty cool, you know. And I was thinking, you know, what is it that some of you
Come here,
guys
Wicker.
that watch the podcast, when is it that you listen to the podcast, or what kind of work do you do? And you know, where are you when you're listening? And how did you get hooked up with the Stone Roadie podcast? Put it in the comments, and I'd like to hear some of your stories about maybe your favorite episode that we had, or you know, or what it is you like about it, what you don't like about it, and who you are, what you do for a living, when you listen to the podcast, that kind of stuff. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube I like to watch. I'll tell you some of my favorite podcasts that I watch, and maybe you guys can check them out. One of my favorite is called the Aqua Chigger, which this guy, he takes a metal detector and he lives up near Virginia, in Virginia or West Virginia. No, I think it's Virginia. And he goes in these creeks and he finds all these Civil War belt buckles and bullets and swords and sword handles and ammo plates. And the guy's really cool. His name's Bo. Check out the Aqua Chigger. That guy is really cool. He's got a lot of subscribers, like over a million. And I've talked to him a couple times because Dwayne Easley, you know, he's got the up there at the monument. He donated the property, and his house is was back in the 1800s. There was like they camped out during the Civil War. And he said that's never been detected. And I tried to get the Aqua Chigger to go there and metal detect, but he said that was kind of far for him. I'm still working on that. Then another guy I like to watch is called the Key West Waterman. And this guy, you got to watch this guy. If anybody's an avid saltwater fisherman or likes to spear fish, this guy is amazing, man. He'll go out in the middle of the ocean. You can't see land. He's out there like, you know, 1,000 miles deep or something, you know, like right on the edge of the abyss. And he spears these freaking fish right out. And he goes out there by himself, man. And he's always, you know, catching these huge tuna. And he's from where I used to live when I was working for NASA there at Kennedy Space Center in Titusville, Florida. I think his father-in-law owns the GNU company, and not his father-in-law, his stepfather. But yeah, he's a really cool guy. And I like to watch like crime podcast. And another guy is No Nonsense Garage, and that's a guy I tried to come out and get your Gene or Alan's car started. You know, will it run? This guy is a fantastic mechanic. He'll take a skateboard, you know, and he'll ride his skateboard like 10 miles to where some car is, and he'll put a battery on a skateboard and he'll go and throw it in the car, and he'll get some car running that and ran and in 20, 30 years and drive it home. And that's the only way he can go home is a skateboard, and he'd rather ride the car home. So yeah, check that guy out. No Nonsense Garage. And then put in the comments what's some of your favorite YouTube channels and podcasts, because I'd love to check them out because it's really interesting. YouTube is everybody's got a YouTube channel. You ever watch YouTube, Craig?
Yeah, I watch certain things.
What kind of stuff you watch?
Oh, those the two twins. God, I can't remember their names. Um,
What do they do?
they're two black guys. They're twins, and they just have a kind of a
Oh, they're political guys.
yeah. The Hodge brothers, I think, is what.
Yeah, I've seen those
Yeah,
guys. Yeah, they comment on. They're pretty funny.
yeah,
They laugh at these liberals.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I watched that boxer guy. What's his name?
kickboxer.
The new heavyweight champion, podcaster of the world, the Mexican guy that used to be a heavyweight fighter. What's his name? Rodriguez. Yeah, Rodriguez.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's his podcast about? What's he do?
just political stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lives down by the border, so he gives eyewitness news about what's happening on the border and stuff right at El Paso.
And that's like, we kind of backed off
Right where
on.
we were, right where I used to cross the border, so I know exactly where they're talking about. It's funny.
And we kind of backed off on the political stuff, but that's this Cracker Barrel thing. That's why I'm wearing my Cracker Barrel hat, because here they go again. They try to change the brand, and they got this new CEO, and she's just completely gutted the Cracker Barrel, and I've even heard the food sucks now. And the one where I live, I found a hair in my eggs, and I hadn't been back there since. But man, they ruin everything. Can't have nothing nice. And yeah, if Jesus for Survivor sends those gift cards, I'm going to buy me a bunch of these Cracker Barrel hats because I'm not going to eat their food.
Oh, he said he was just joking. I messaged him. I said, Griff said, you said you sent me a thing that said you were gonna send me a bunch of Cracker Barrel things because you had a bunch because nobody was going or something to that effect. And I just took it as a joke. But Griff says he thought that you were really gonna send him some and he was gonna do a podcast
Yeah, he said doing on the road.
and he goes,
Yeah.
"No, I was just joking."
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry about it then. But I think I'm still going to go doing on the road at the Cracker Barrel, because that is like a Southern thing, and we're Southern rock, and yeah, they just kind of ruin everything, man. So, but anyway, moving right along. Stephen Langford said, "Heck of an intro, Dyer Davis, that song that we started out with. Yeah, that's one of his originals, and a lot of people like that. Matter of fact, Kevin Huber said Paul Rogers was the first thing I thought of when he started singing, which there's quite a few people that said that because that's what I thought. That's what I thought when I heard him. I was like, man, that guy, he's definitely got like sort of like a Paul Rogers voice. And I told him, I said, man, let's hear some Bad Company. And I don't know if he's going to do it or not, but I'd love to hear him play some Free or Bad Company because he does kind of have that. He's got an original type voice. Then he's got that long beard like ZZ Top and a bald head, which that kind of stuff makes like a cool brand. Those gummies kicking in on you, Craig?
They've been kicked in, man.
Well, we still got like about 15 questions to go, man. You better hang in there, or
No, I'm
comments.
fine.
And then Winslow Red Cross, great interview. Craig and Griff, thank you We're bringing Dyer Davis. Scooter Weed. I think I mentioned something about Ricky Medlock being an original member of Skynyrd, and Scooter Weed said, I don't consider Ricky Medlock an original member. What about Craig T. Walker, who played with the band on First and Last? What can you tell us about Craig T. Walker, Craig?
I know the name, but I don't think I ever met the guy.
Yeah, I don't know much about him
anything
either.
about him that I remember. I might have in a previous dimension remembered the guy, but since the plane crash, there's just things I don't remember. It just knocked it out of me.
Well, I mean, realistically, original member to Skynyrd, in my opinion, is we know who those guys are. They're those guys that we all love from the '70s that you saw on stage playing all those old great songs that Craig recorded with his Super 8 recorder. And he has all those great reels that one of these days he's gonna dig them out
Well,
for
did
us.
you watch Kathy Guzzi got me to want to put the Bill Graham stuff up behind me, but it wouldn't have sound behind it. I got the whole Bill Graham at the Winterland. I got that whole tape.
Yeah, we need that.
Clayton Johnson sent me a really cool picture of Gary Rossington and Bill Graham. And I was going to use it for a backdrop right at the last minute until I remembered it. And then I had to crop it so I could get it to fit right. So I didn't have time.
Well, could you email it to me and I'll pop it up on the screen while we're talking about it when I edit. Maybe next time.
I don't know.
Is it a file that he emailed it to you in a file, or is it a regular picture?
It's a file.
Yeah, send me the file and I'll pop it on the screen here.
This is a valuable picture.
Oh, you don't want anybody to snag
Well,
it.
this come from private files of Bill Graham Productions. Nobody's got this picture.
Well,
nobody.
I won't steal it, Craig.
Well, I'll give you a copy, but I'm just saying this is a very rare picture.
Well, if you guys see it on the screen,
could be worth a lot of money some days.
I talked Craig.
Clayton sent it to me. Yeah, it's from a Bill Graham private collection.
Well, if you guys
Clayton at one time gave me a book of all the Bill Graham concerts, all the old posters. It's got all the old posters, all the cool artwork for them. It's a great big thick book. It's cool.
Well, I'll work on Craig, see if I can get him to send it to me. If you see it up here on the screen, I was able to talk, but I don't think that's going to happen today because Craig's already has some gummies.
No, I'll send it to you. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll pop it up on the screen here and everybody can see it. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Craig sends it or not. You can't guarantee anything with Craig, man.
Well, all I have to do is after we get this done, I can send it to you after we get this done.
Yeah, and I'll put it in the.
I don't have to do it now. I got too much of a buzz to try to do that shit.
Yeah, let me see. Jack
I could
West.
do it if I wanted to, but I just don't want to.
Jack West says, Craig, don't go to that Skynyrd show. They don't deserve to have you there.
You know what? Like I said before, it's getting close to when I'm gonna, try to call the office, and then I'll call other. I know how to use other sources. We'll just see what happens. But I'm getting to the point I just really don't care to go. Anyways, I'd like to go early and talk to the some of the crew guys and stuff, and just mess around.
Well, you were going to make a phone call to see if you could get a backstage pass or something.
Well, yeah, I haven't tried to call the last time I tried to call the office. They they had a phone number that shot you off somewhere else. And when I talked about it before, somebody said, if you get through to that office, let me know because I've been trying to kind of get through for a long time. So I guess you can't get, the normal, you know, I don't know how
Well,
to get a hold of them.
have you guys been watching Craig? The last time Leonard Skinner, they came, the Leonard Skinner, present Leonard Skinner, came to Craig's town there, and he went down there and tried to get in backstage, and the guy said, "Oh man, you're a plane crash survivor. Can I get your autograph?" Yeah, yeah, okay, man, we'll get you in. Let me go
Oh,
talk to you.
it wasn't just one guy. There was like maybe four or five, maybe six guys out there standing around my car. I was signing autographs, man. Well, yeah, I'll go tell them you're here. Then he came out and said, they don't want you back here.
How messed
While
up
I
is
was sitting
that?
there waiting, I saw a golf cart. Some woman was in this golf cart, and she came out and looked at me sitting in the car. But
Yeah,
yeah, so they
yeah,
knew what
Craig,
was going
he's been blackballed. So
on.
I was kind of curious if you made a phone call and say, "Hey man, can you get
I
me just a
haven't
little
done
bit
it
further?"
yet.
Yeah.
They're not playing for another 6 days or so.
Which reminds me, I was going to go see Artemis Pyle band over in Clearwater, and then the seats were already sold. And I said, well, I'll take a look. And they're playing up there near the villages. And I looked at that, man, they sell out. And those tickets aren't cheap either. So I'm not going to be able to go see them
Yeah,
unless,
this county fair it said there's no tickets available. It's sold
yeah,
out. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able to.
it says that on that website. It says that a couple of their places. Yeah, they sell out everywhere, which is Angela Leonard said one time she paid $1,700 for a ticket to see the tribute band, and something happened that she couldn't go, and she couldn't get her money back.
Really?
Yeah,
Dang.
$1,700
Well, that must have been like
for a
a
ticket.
backstage
Yeah, it
experience.
must have been an experience of some
Yeah.
sort. Yeah.
'Cause that's what they do. They take you backstage and they take a picture with you and you get to meet them and hang out. I got to do that for free. Which I got to meet Gary, Ricky Medlock and hang out with Johnny. But I knew Johnny's mother-in-law, so I got to go up to his hotel room and bullshit with him uh, and Peter Keys. I talked to him. He kind of stays away from all those people. He just kind of watches the opening band and hangs out there. He's a really cool guy. Um, yeah, so it was fun, and they are great. They are all great musicians. So I really enjoyed that. Um, if anybody ever gets a chance to do that, you won't be disappointed. Um, see who we got here, Reverend Randall. I never was a big fan of the Beatles, which Dyer Davis, he does a lot of Beatles music. He says, sure, there's a few good ones, good songs, as with any of the other, the individual, whenever they broke off and George Harrison and John Lennon. To me, I think the Beatles were great. I mean, that early Beatles, I want to hold your hand stuff, that's not my thing. But yeah, man, the Beatles. What's phenomenal to me is John Lennon was such a great guitar player, and a writer and everything. And he just you never really saw him playing guitar detailed, sitting down playing guitar, but you heard it in all the recordings. I mean, you saw him playing on the rooftop, but and George Harrison, what a great guitar player. And man, if you don't like the Beatles, there's something wrong with you, man, because those guys are talented They- and inspirations to a lot of people. Not saying don't get mad at me there, Reverend Randall. I mean, everybody's got their taste, but I just think they spurred off a lot of people were inspired by him, including Dyer Davis. Um, And I've heard him do some Wings, and Wings was a really cool band.
They
But
all all the Beatles did well individually as well
yeah,
too. You
yeah,
know,
they did.
Ringo, George,
And
Paul.
George, man,
You know,
he was my
they
favorite,
all
man.
did. They all had. I guess they were all writers, unless they were. I've never really checked to see who wrote what.
I mean, I didn't like it when Paul McCartney started going out with the ebony and ivory and all that shit, I mean, I wasn't into that, but interesting how Michael Jackson bought all the Beatles music, and
Yeah.
that pissed off Paul McCartney really bad. Uh, he was joking around, He said, "Man," he goes, "You guys' music's pretty valuable." Yeah, yeah, it is. He goes, "I ought to buy it." And he said, "Yeah, that would be fun." And he was just kidding around, and he said he really did.
Well, Michael disappeared, so.
Yeah, I think they got him back. I think he bought it back, though. I think Paul
Yeah, after
McCartney.
Michael disappeared, he was able to buy it back,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Well, some people think he's still alive.
Well, he had some kids too. I imagine he donated most of that to them. Parrot, it wasn't, yeah. Didn't he have
Yeah.
a daughter? Yeah.
But yeah, I like a lot of those. I like when the Paul McCartney part. I like Wings, Band on the Run, and that kind of stuff is pretty cool. And that guitar player for Wings was just a kid, I think he was like 17, and he OD'd on heroin. You know, tragic. I forget his name. Anybody know who he is? Put it in the comments. Just a young guy that played with Wings. I mean, I could look it up, but it's easier just to let you guys do it for me. Um, let me see here. Oh, Topher. That was a good tune. Talking about that Dyer Davis opening from the last podcast. That just made my trip in my tractor trailer even better. Yeah, that's what I was kind of curious, when do you guys listen to the podcast, just put in the comments and wouldn't mind, interacting with the guys and gals that subscribe and see when it is you guys listen to the podcast and how you got on board with the Stone Roadie show. Probably because Craig's always doing some crazy shit, like eating gummies. Craig, you look like you're stoned, man.
Well, I look like I am then,
Yeah, yeah, I could tell you got a buzz going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it's a shame that a lot of people only listen to this in their car and they're not able to see
yeah,
my visuals I post up here behind me. I try to keep
yeah, Craig's
everybody
always got some cool stuff in the
amused
background.
with my green screen antics. It's
Yeah,
like
and
the guy was saying I always had stuff going on behind me and breaking up
yeah,
conversations or I
you're
was
always,
always searching for attention.
you're always doing this,
Since I have brain damage, I need attention.
When Craig wants to hit a bowl, he'll do this. He'll just go, he'll disappear, and that's what he's doing. He's taking a toke, and then he gets the dogs, and they come in there and they fight and everything. But yeah, Craig, you can
Come to think of it, I don't think I've took a hit off a pipe or anything since we did this.
you don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need. See, I don't really do drugs excessively.
Yeah, so you kids out there, if you're watching the Stone Roadie show, do not do what Craig does, man. Telling you, he's a professional drug addict and he knows just what to do. And he's also become immune to it. I mean, I tell you what, he's one of these guys, he can hold his liquor. That's for sure. Brian Gibbons, Dyer has a great voice. I'm glad he met Jesus. He will set you free. Yeah, remember Dyer was saying he was ODing or something, and he said, "Lord, just
Yeah,
let me
he
home."
he threw everything out the window and said, "God, just let me make it through this, and I'll never do anything again." And he said he immediately straightened up.
Yeah,
Just like,
and
just it was just an instant change. And he
which,
woke, and he was better, and he hasn't done anything since. So
yeah, and he says,
he's keeping up with his promise.
there's always people putting it in his face, and he just tells them, "No, man, I don't need it." So,
I've done it a few times, hugging that porcelain bowl, going, "Oh God, I'll never do this again. Oh
but
God,
yeah, but that was
I
over 20
swear I'll
years
never
ago.
do this again."
That was over 20 years ago because you said you haven't vomited.
Yeah, but I did it several times.
Ain't nothing worse than throwing up, man. I
Oh
hate that.
God.
Walking around nauseated and
Oh,
throwing up.
alcohol induced, man. You're just in a cold sweat. Oh, it's a mess.
Oh yeah, it ain't worth it. Yeah, you don't get away with nothing, man. Everything's got a side effect. If there
Oh,
was a if there was a drug out there you could take and it didn't bother you, just didn't have a side effect, everybody'd be on it. What gets me, Craig, you seen these guys, I don't know what drug they're taking, but they're all bent over in half.
yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
is
It's just
that,
they're
man?
kind of like a statue, just kind of halfway bent over. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
know. I've noticed that.
I can't even
That's
bend over that
that's
far.
peculiar.
And they're standing there like there's like four or five of
Yeah,
them on the street
that's
corner,
it's strange for sure.
and they're all bent over, and they're like, why don't you just lay down? Why you got to be all bent over like that? I mean, go ahead and lay down, man. Were you trying to tell people, man, I'm all right? Like I saw one guy, and his girlfriend, they were pumping gas, and the damn nozzle was in the at the gas station in the car, and they were both all bent over, and this black dude pulls up and goes, "You all right, dude?" Man, look at him. He all up in it, bent over, all up in the gas pump. Yeah, I don't know what they're taking, man. It's somebody said heroin. I don't think it's heroin. It's
I don't
damn
know.
Tide Pods or something.
I don't know.
You ain't never had any of that, have you, Craig? 'Cause you don't.
No, I ain't done none of that kind of stuff in a long time. No.
I mean, they're actually contorted into a position I couldn't even get into, and they're just holding it there. I mean, their head's touching the ground, but they're still on their feet. It's amazing.
I used to after they quit making Quaaludes, the ropers and
Oh yeah.
yeah. After that, they come out with these things called gorilla biscuits, and they were kind of made on the side somewhere. But I ate a few dozen of those. But since you ain't been able to get those, I haven't really got into any of that kind of stuff.
Remember, we were talking to Dyer, and he said, "Yeah, man, I was so high on speed," and he says, "I've asked Jesus," and I said,
It
"Craig
was
would have just
crystal
taken a
meth.
Quaalude." Yeah,
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 the
crystal meth. I said,
crystal
"Craig
meth.
would have just taken a Quaalude," and then he started laughing, and then Craig goes, "I got a big bottle of them somewhere around here a bottle that they were
The-
in somewhere
yeah,
around."
an empty bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you showed that on one of the podcasts. Because
Somebody else said they had one of those.
I think they probably went away in the early 80s, didn't they? That was the last time the Quaaludes were on the scene.
No, they went away before
Was it in the
that.
70s?
Yeah, they went away. I used to get them.
I
Yeah,
remember having them when I
70s.
was 16 or 17, maybe
It was
15.
before the 80s they did away with them, I believe.
But why? They were so good. They were like,
That's why. Well, they were made for women to be able to cope, and I guess it worked.
and remember, they had a line on them, and if they were fresh, they would break in half real easy if they were
Oh
fresh.
yeah,
That's how you knew they were
they were
fresh.
made for women to to deal with some kind of a psychological issue or
I thought they
something.
made them too. Well, they used them when they're on these diet plans. They'd give you speed, and you didn't feel like eating, and then you had to come down. You had to come down to sleep, so they gave you a Quaalude. I'm telling you right now, there's no problem sleeping if you take a Quaalude. If you're like one of these people that can't sleep, if you took a Quaalude, you don't care about staying awake anymore because
Well, they made him so they would deal with a woman and her daily issues that she has with life, and then they
uh,
canceled them. And look what's happened to society. They can't deal with
yeah, they need to bring them back.
they can't deal with reality, so.
Methaqualone or something like that.
Give them back, give me back my Quaaludes. Put them
Yes,
back where they
you
belong.
can't have nothing nice. The Plastidills, that was another one, the green and the reds,
Oh, the
and
Placidills, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
you
Yeah, you
freeze them.
poke a hole in them and then you swallow them, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that
was
stuff
talking to
seeps out faster.
I was
The
talking to
green ones
Joe.
and the red ones. The
I
green
think the
ones
red ones were more stronger than the
no, the
green.
green ones were the pickles. Yeah, the
Oh, they
green
were.
pickles. Those were the strong. The red ones were like half or something.
Did Gary and Ed and did they like to take those?
Placidills. I'm
Yeah.
sure I don't really remember
What
that.
kind of drugs was it that Ed had all the time? What was his
Oh, a
favorite?
variety of things.
He had like a kit, didn't he?
Yeah,
Gary used to
right.
say he was
Is
so
them? You know
stupid.
what? I was those damn cigarettes that killed him. I
Yeah,
swear. I
that
swear
may
that's what killed him. Them damn cigarettes.
was he a chain smoker?
I was watching a thing the other day with him on stage, and he had a cigarette stuck out of his face. I'm going, why? I mean,
Well, back
you're
then.
playing a freaking lead, and you got a cigarette stuck in your face. That's like stupid.
And I remember my father, he smoked like three, 4 packs a day of those Marlboro Reds. And, I was a kid and he'd send me down the store on my bicycle, like when I was like 12 years old, and to go down there and say, yeah, I need a pack of Marlboro Reds. He always liked the box and they always sold them. There was no problem. They sell them to a kid,
Oh
back
yeah,
then.
you just tell him that for my dad. Yeah, they'd
Yeah.
sell them to
And you had the cigarette machine. Anybody could go buy cigarettes out of the cigarette machine. So
you.
yeah, those
Shit,
were the
I
days.
think I've said before, when we had a Christmas party out here and all my brother-in-laws get together, they would all go down to this Chiefs about 2 miles down the road, and they'd all go down there and drink beer and drink shots and play the food, what was it, the automatic,
Foosball.
the
Foosball.
bowling, they had a thing that you do a disc and there's things down there and pinball and stuff. I don't know. But they'd all be just sitting down there drinking beer, and I'd go with them, and I'd sit there and drink beer right along with them. And I
Yeah.
wasn't 10 years old.
And another thing too is we would go out in the boat and nobody ever pulled us over for that was a thing. When you went out in the boat, you had to have beer. And the
Oh
Marine
yeah,
Patrol, they
yeah,
never
yeah,
messed with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
They never messed with you. Now you get a BUI if you go out with a
That was part of your gear, the beer.
Yeah, you had to have beer, man, in the boat. Now, if they catch you with beer, you're going to jail. It's
Oh
bullshit.
God, yeah.
And you young guys, don't know how good we had it, man. Back in the '70s, that was a killer time to be alive, man. Didn't have all this political crap, with the woke shit. A Democrat wasn't that much from different than a Republican,
You
you
can't
know.
you you can't have beer in a cooler on the bank while you're fishing.
Yeah, but out in the boat, like I
Oh,
watch,
okay.
that's another podcast I watch is the Fish and Wildlife. If you watch those guys, I live here in Winter Haven on the chain of lakes, and I don't even go out on the lakes on the weekend because they pull you over and they just harass the hell out of you about everything, man. You can't, do anything. And if you're out there, like say you're the designated boat driver, I don't care if there's beer on the boat and you haven't been drinking, they'll take you to jail. They're just horrible about that. So when I go fishing, I don't go during the weekend because they're always prowling around, bothering you, hassling you, which, it is dangerous to drink and drive a boat, but it isn't like driving a car. It's not the same, you might have a few accidents out there, but they just want that. They just want their, $10,000 they get off of you.
I ain't been fishing for a long time, but I've been privately, but I just recently found out that hell, I'm 74 years old. I don't even need a license.
No, at 65, you don't have to have a license anymore.
Yeah, I just recently found that out.
Yeah, which, yeah, that's nice. That just goes to tell you, though, that you're not far from dying when they allow you to have shit for free. They say, hey, man, you don't need a license anymore. You're about ready to die.
Hey, I'll tell you what, it's a privilege to live this long. Hell, all my damn friends are dead, a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, well, the reason you're alive is you don't get sick. You haven't even thrown up in 20 years, man. So, you got a great DNA. All your sisters are all still alive except for what, one? You lost your brother,
Yeah,
didn't
but
you?
one that she smoked heavy and was an alcoholic, and then the other one kind of fell and hit her head, and yeah, the rest of them are still alive.
Then you got
And
like
the
how
one
many?
is the oldest is 90, and the rest of them are youngest is 86, 80, yeah, 86.
You might end up being like the Green Mile, Craig. You ever watch that movie, The Green Mile? He outlived everybody. Yeah, you might. Craig probably outlived me. He's 10 years older than me, 9 years older than me. But it's good genes. What's that girl that wears the jeans?
Sydney Sweeney, yeah,
Yeah,
got good genes.
got good genes.
She's the only choice. Cracker Barrel. That the only hope Cracker Barrel has to make it back is to
Yeah,
hire Sydney Sweeney.
exactly, because their stock is tanking.
uh,
They lost like
oh my God.
$100 million or something
Yeah, yeah.
just off of being stupid.
Somebody said they went into a new one and they wanted to get country fried steak and they didn't have it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit, man. Then a lot of people asking, "Where's Kimmy? Kimmy, man, where are you?" We haven't heard from Kimmy. Our comments are down. Usually we got 150 comments. Now we're below 100 because
She
Kimmy,
must not be
she
watching at all because we've asked about her several times and
yeah.
she
I
said she
hope
was having a medical issue.
I hope she's okay. Kimmy, if you're out there, man, do something. Let us know that you're around. Um, Joe Mueller, I had never heard of Dyer Davis, but I'm impressed. Very intelligent and a good speaker. I'm glad he called out the prayer during his scary event. Yeah, anybody going through a scary event, man, reach out to the Almighty. He'll save you. I've done it a few times myself. Oh, God, help me. And I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
So one of these times,
It's happened to me so many times. There's got to be a reason I'm supposed to be here. I'd sure as hell
yes.
like to know what the hell it
Well,
is.
you're supposed to raise money for the
I'm
plane
I'm
crash
am- I'm
survivors.
I'm amused, just kind of trying to figure it out on the way. Just let shit happen the way it's supposed to go, I guess.
Then Wingnut says, I came across an internet post that Gene was run off of Ronnie's boy home property by Lacey Van Zant. Any truth to that? We
I had heard a rumor to that effect. I don't know what
actually,
the
I
hell
know
happened.
somebody, and I won't say their name, They probably don't watch the podcast, but they worked in a lawyer's office, and they told me they looked up Gene Odum, and he had a restraining order against him from Lacey. I've never mentioned that to Gene. I ought to ask him about that, but I, Gene might have told me what it was that happened, but I'm sure it had something to do with money. Um,
Oh, definitely.
yeah, they, maybe Lacey and Gene were somewhere and Lacey got, some money or something that he wasn't supposed to get, or Gene got some money he wasn't supposed to get, or who knows. But I'll try to catch Gene. I got to take that check to Gene.
Ronnie promised Gene a lot. I mean, I don't know this personally, and maybe I'm talking like a man with a paper asshole, but as far as Gene's concerned, and I think it happened. Ronnie promised you, kind of said, Gene, whenever I make it, you'll make it too, and was kind of living up to his promise to Gene, he's
Yeah.
going, hey man, one of these days you'll benefit severely from this, and that's just the way.
But Ronnie had to be bullshitting him because he always told everybody he wasn't going to live till about 29. So Gene should have known better.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, he goes around, man, you're going to be, when I get
that's it.
rich, you'll be rich. And then, then he goes around the next breath says, I'm not going to make it till about 29.
Well, I know from personal experience that when Ed wanted to hire me, Ronnie said, I got all these other people in Jacksonville I've been promising a job my whole life, and you want me to hire some Yankee before I
Yeah.
hire any of those guys? So I
Well,
kind of
that's how
know
you got to
I kind
do
of
it.
know that situation a little. I can guess the rest.
Well, that's sometimes you have to do stuff like that so you don't hurt some one person's feelings. You got five of your friends wanting a job, so you go hire some stranger. Say, there, take that. And Patricia Lynn, she's a lady that just made that donation. We love Patricia Lynn. Says, love Dyer Davis original songs. In medieval times, I saw Dyer Davis about a year ago. He brings it live. Great call having him on the podcast. Um, so yeah, that's all the comments.
Yeah, that
And
was Chad's idea to have him on here.
yeah,
Without Chad, I would have never even known the guy. I guess Chad was somewhere at a bar and walking out, and he started singing. And Chad said, "Man, just stop
no,
and
he was
grab
at
my
the
sax."
beach.
And,
He was at that beach fest they have up in Jacksonville, and he was leaving, and he heard him. He turned around and went back and listened and talked to his manager and hooked us up. And soon, I'm gonna this week, probably end of the week, sometime, Craig, I'm gonna give Greg Martin a call and see if I can go ahead and hook him up for the podcast. Um, second helping.
yeah, but don't forget to ask him if he's got a digital copy of that tape that I sent him of him playing with the band. And
Yeah,
if if he's got it and stuff, I'll run it behind me on the green screen. It won't have a sound on it, but and
right.
but if he doesn't have a copy, I'll go down to my guy to have it done. You
And
know,
he might want to get a copy of it again from you or something. But
yeah, I can have a digital copy made, no problem. Just I guess I just would have to go. I just call him and have to go pick it up. I guess. Oh wait a
yeah,
minute. Maybe he's got a copy of it. He's got a file of all the stuff he's made of mine. He might have a copy of it. He might have a
well,
copy of it.
you
No, I made that tape. I made that tape here. I made that tape
yeah, you
because
probably be
I've got
better
the
to Mark. You'd
equipment
be
to
better
do
to Mark, Craig. You're a little gummied out right now, man.
that. More than a little.
All right. Well, that's all the comments and questions, and I'll start working on getting another guest. And I'm going to go see Gene, and I'll do a little video with him. Maybe we'll have that ready for next Monday. So happy trails, and we'll see you guys again next Monday.
Yeah, see you later, alligator, at the Wild Crocodile, and we're out of here. Cut.